All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Witchful Thinking. It's your host, Autumn, and Nyx, although on the screen it probably doesn't say that, but that's because when we have the more responsible adult here person not present, we have to improvise.
Yeah.
So today on today's episode, we're going to be talking about more deity work, and we're going to be talking about how we work with goddess Nyx and Hecate. Um, yeah. So would you like to start, Nick, since you are the one who changed your name?
Yeah, and I was just having an identity crisis, and I decided that I was going to just take her identity.
There you go.
All
Sorry,
jokes aside. So I work with a lot of deities, but we're going to specifically focus on Nyx and Hecate. So we're going to start off with Nyx, if that's okay. So with Nyx, you can work on a lot of things with her. What I work on with her specifically is a lot of my trauma, because I am a spicy person with inside the brain. But yeah, I work with her a lot on trauma and a bunch of other things that I guess not a lot of other people work with on her, but our connection is very close. So, what do you work on with her?
Um, so I actually, for me, it's more like her and Hikate both kind of like double dip. So I work with them both in regards to like a lot of my shadow work, um, processing grief and loss. Um, for me, it's kind of odd. I feel like when people are like, "You work with grief and loss with Nyx and Hikate," and I think it's more so because like Hecate is known for crossroads, and so not to like lump one with the other, but and then at nighttime, I feel like that's when we mourn a lot. At least for me, that's when I mourn a lot of the people that I miss and have left this world. So I kind of working through grief and loss and shadow work, a lot of shadow work, especially with Nyx. I'll be like, "Yay, I got to this point," and then she's like, "And another one."
Yep, that's how it be. She
I'm
like
like,
for my, I guess shadow work is with the trauma, but um, she sends it through dreams.
mm-hmm.
So I'll have to work through it in my dreams, which is it's nice. Sometimes it's a little much, but it's real nice because it's something that I've needed to do.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that Nyx is the reason for what happened today. I have the strongest feeling.
Yeah, well, and that's what I mean. Like, she's the personification of night, and what is a better way? Or, like, the sun. It's that saying, like, the sun, you know, shines on everything, but it's by the light of the moon and the stars of the night that you are truly seen, and everything comes to light. So I'm gonna have animals all over the place, so I apologize. You're gonna probably hear one dog chewing on her toy, and
No,
then
you're fine.
I have
I'm
one
lucky
cat
that
who's
both of my pets are right over here
yeah.
sleeping, and if I say any of their names, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're talking about me? I'm gonna come over there and harass you now."
But so yeah, a lot of what I do is like shadow work because I find like I journal, but I find that I journal at night better than I do in the daytime. And I think that's because I have time to kind of sit and reflect. And that's mostly what I do with Nyx is a lot of reflection, um, a lot of a lot of journaling and writing and kind of processing because I haven't always been really good at processing my emotions. I I may or may not have bottled it up a lot when I was younger.
Oh no, I understand. I've bottled up a lot of stuff too, and I catch myself doing it still, and I need a not
Yeah. So
because um it, like as we've discussed before, it um like privately, bottling up, it just feels like you're choking on it,
yeah.
and it's nice because if you do that, Nyx will be like, "Excuse you,
You?
ma'am, you need to stop."
Yeah, like one of the biggest things recently, because it's like I've always, I'm sorry, it's always been like I've always been afraid to kind of like speak up sometimes. Which I mean, like I'm not afraid to speak up when it comes to like other people, right? Like if I see something bad happening or someone doing something wrong, I'm really sorry about the noise.
You're
I'm
fine.
I'm really quick to be like, nope, we're not gonna do that. But when it comes to myself, I'm like, I'm just
See, I catch myself doing that too. Honestly, I've been doing it in the lore server too. It's like I'll speak up about everything else with everyone else's problems, but as soon as it's the problem with myself, that's when I'm just like, I'll just let it sit and I'll let it slide.
yeah. And so like that is something that I've been working on. And then like I have a I have like a hodgepodge for my altar because Nyx and Hecate and Hades, Persephone, and Santa Muerta and uh, the Morrigan all share a shelf. They wanted to. I made sure they were okay with it, but
No,
they
it's
all
fine.
share a shelf.
I trust you, man. I trust you. It's
Yeah,
not like you
no,
just shove them together just because you wanted to.
yeah, I didn't. It didn't. I didn't mean it to work out that way, but it's like all the underworld deities that I work with are on one shelf, and they have like they have claimed all my skeleton and spooky, almost all my skeleton and spooky decor.
Sounds about right. Sounds about
So,
right.
um, but yeah, but working with Nyx has always been kind of like a mother daughter. Well, we've talked about this,
Yeah.
where it's like that mother daughter relationship. But it's not like a bad thing, like she's always it's not like she's being like the mean mom. She's just wanting
No,
you to
she's very loving.
yeah,
She's honestly probably one of the most loving we actually get to see in the Greek pantheon,
yeah,
like and all of that. There's a lot of good mothers in the Greek
yeah.
area, but Nyx is probably one of the most iconic ones
Mhm.
because of how many kids she has, how protective she is. Like the king
Mhm.
of the gods is afraid of this woman
Mhm.
because she's not only the most powerful goddess, but she will fuck somebody up if they mess with her kids.
Oh yeah, like I can always feel her presence when I work with her, especially when I'm journaling. And it's a good journal entry that's very heavy for me emotionally because it just feels like a warm hug. It feels like she's just cocooning me, and I'm like, you know what, this is nice. But then she's like, you still have to write it, you still have to do it, and I'm like,
Yep.
all right, but
So that's how I feel. I've been diving into dark poetry, and I guess I've always dived into dark poetry because that's like my thing. And I'm actually working on publishing a poetry book eventually
yeah,
because I'm working on a lot of poetry, and a lot of the poetry that I'm working on has to do with the struggles that I have gone through. So a lot of them are like very like dark thoughts. I don't want to like say what kind of thoughts, but you should get the point of when I say dark thoughts. Um, and even Aphrodite is helping me with that as well because of like the body image, because I've always struggled with my body image. And so it's resurfacing some of the trauma that I've been through and like expressing it through something that I absolutely love, because writing is one of my favorite things to do too. And I also mainly write at night, not just because that's the only time I have the time, is because that's when I'm able to I feel like all of my creativity flows at that time.
yeah, I get that. I get that a lot because it's like kind of one of those things where I feel like during the daytime I can't really focus because I've got so many different things. I'm like, oh, I got to do this, oh, I got to do that, and so I feel like at night that's when. Oh goodness, that's my dog. I feel like I can truly, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you said, just creative freedom and like or not freedom. Well, maybe it
That's
is.
when you're awake.
Yeah, it's like that's
So
when everything
I
flows for me.
I think it's funny because we both work with the with the personification of night, and we're both night people.
Yeah. I'm
it
really a
it
person, let's be honest. I'm very much
she knew.
really
She knew.
she
She was
knew.
like, "Yep, 100%." It's
Yeah.
also with a lot of the other underworld gods and goddesses that we work with too. It's just like because majority of them are night
Hmm.
affiliated with, and we're both night people.
Yeah, although I will say, oh, I love them dearly. But now that spring is here, my allergies are messing with me. And I'm like, Persephone, I will give you all the honey in the world if you can just make this pollen not so terrible.
I felt that. I felt that.
It's so
And
bad here. Like
what's
I
even
tried.
worse is I'm gonna start my garden here soon, and it's just my allergies are just gonna get worse because all of the pollen is gonna be right at my back door.
Right at your back door. My truck, I just washed it. It was kind of dirty anyways, but it was turning yellow. And I had to
Oh
wash
no. Oh no.
it. And
That's when you know it's bad.
I was like, it's time to wash this truck.
Yeah. So my car is not yellow,
Yeah.
thankfully, but it's also kind of a goldish color anyway, so I guess I wouldn't even notice if it was. Uh, but I can definitely tell because my allergies have just smacked me right across the face. They're
Yeah.
like, surprise, Shorty, it's springtime.
Yeah, I started having to take Benadryl at night because it was getting bad.
I
I
had
wake up in the
a
morning with like one clogged nostril. I'm like,
dude. I wake up in the morning and I can't breathe either, but I'm also asthmatic, so it could be allergies and asthma.
that's not good.
Nope. But it's mainly related to the allergies. I take Allegra for mine just because Benadryl doesn't work for me. But I've had to double up a couple times on my allergy medication.
Yes, I'm like sitting here going, I'm looking at you, Persephone, but I'm also, but I'm also like, I'm looking and I love you.
It's more like I love you, but this allergy, man, these allergies are killing me.
These allergies are killing me. Um, but yeah, so I mean, getting back on the topic, so with kind of shifting gears a little bit, I actually started working with. I was not working with Nyx or Hecate when I first started working in a lot of the shadow work. I was actually working with Freya, but it's interesting because when you look at Freya and Hecate, they're very similar in what they represent because they represent magic and spirituality and sorry, I was trying to figure out what my cat was
You're fine.
doing. The difference is instead of crossroads, Freya works with like war and other things that I won't. I don't know if we have like flag words, things that we can't say,
So
but
I actually have a question
uh-huh.
about Freya. So
Yes.
I am working on a couple of stories
Okay.
where I am using Freya, and I've of course I've already asked like for permission. I had to reach out to someone else. I didn't know you worked with her, but I had to
Mm-hmm.
reach out to someone else because what I wanted to do is I want to portray her accurately.
Mm-hmm.
And just yesterday, I was on Pick Crew because I was trying to get like a design for her because I wanted to not only represent like who what she actually like looks like,
Mm-hmm.
while also kind of getting like the diversity of everyone in the not like just like a comic and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's also for like an actual book I'm writing. Um, and I'm gonna send it to you on Discord. I just have to find your Discord.
Yeah. Dude.
What's your Discord again? Just like the last part of it. Oh, you know what? I'll just go to the. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I promise I know what
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Okay.
It's a little chaotic, but I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I have to find her again. Okay, check your Discord.
Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Messages. Okay. I love that.
I know when I created it, I was like, because I was going back and forth between like different pictures. I was like, okay, so she has red hair,
Mm-hmm.
and like I was looking at how she was looking in those pictures, and after I created her, I was looking at it and I started tearing up. I'm like, does she like it?
I love it. No, it's okay. So I feel like when it comes to deities, we like there are some where we have accurate depictions, or I shouldn't say accurate, but we have depictions of them and what they look like. We have descriptors, right? But I feel like it's also they will come to you in a way that um, what's what I'm looking for? They'll come to you in a way that you'll be able to connect who they are, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I think of Nyx, I actually see her with like long black hair. I don't see her with the six eyes like she's depicted in Lore Olympus, but I see her with like black eyes and it looks like there's stars in them. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
it's
So
all
I
black.
actually I sent you another thing. Those are Nyx and Erebus. So to, to to show off like Nyx's skin, I was more so kind of making it look like a galaxy because she's the night,
Mm-hmm.
and the freckles are supposed to represent stars. I just
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get them light enough. But so she's so it has vitiligo,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to like be different colors to represent the galaxy because she is the night.
Yeah. So that's how I've always kind of seen her. It's just like that, and I don't know, but she appears to everybody differently. So like that's what I mean. Like it's however they're coming through to you, if that makes sense. It's no different than like when we are writing for them. A lot of times we'll write things that are very similar. It's just there might be little things that are different because we connect with them in a different way. So like the connection that I have with Nyx is completely different than the connection that you have with her because you have more of a identifier because you changed your name to Nyx. But like for me, it's always been a she's like a soothing mother that's just sitting there in the background, right? Like she's always there, but she's not like hovering or like what are you doing? It's more of like a I'm here if you need me. But then like if you piss her off, you definitely can feel
Oh yeah, you
that nature.
definitely feel
It's
it. I
primordial being like
mhm mhm.
so.
I didn't do one of my shadow works, and she's like, "Do I need to push you?" She
Yeah,
pushed me.
I need to. Her and Hecate like to gang up on me sometimes. And what they like to do is, and sometimes Lilith will jump in with them, and they'll give me the worst nightmares. And then there's like spiders in my dreams everywhere, and I'm like, I don't like this. Okay, I'll do my work.
I saw a spider the other day. It wasn't Hecate though. It was Loki
It
because
was
the
Loki.
ener- the energy was very chaotic.
So whenever I like, so in dreams, if I see them, I know it's Hecate. But if I see spiders in real life, it's Loki.
It depends on the energy that's around for me, I guess. If it's chaotic, I know it's Loki. If it's not, then I know it's Hecate teacher being like, "Hey, you need to do some stuff." I'm like, "Okay, okay."
No, it's I always know it's Loki because the spiders will come out just to torment my cats. So that's how I'm like, what do you want, Loki?
Oh wait, isn't that just because isn't Freya associated with cats?
Yes.
Okay, I knew where that was going.
Yep. That's why I'm like, I know who this is. But that's why like so Dingus, he's a tuxedo, and I've always
And he's a
like
handsome boy.
he's a handsome boy. I got him a new collar. It has stars and moons on it, and has a little moon. But
Aww.
it's so cute. He loves it. He's such a handsome boy. He's sitting right like on this side of me. But he's kind of like my night cat, if that makes sense. He's such a mama's boy, and like each one of my animals have, um, they are. I feel like when I work with certain energies or certain deities, like Dingus, if I'm working with Nyx or I'm trying to remember who else. Mostly just Nyx with him, I think. because when I'm doing, well, sometimes Hecate, but when I'm doing a lot of divination and I'm doing a lot of like journaling and self reflection, he'll come and snuggle with me, and that's kind of like my indicator that Nyx is with me. And then Ghost, her name is actually Caredwin Ghost, and I was trying to figure out a name because when I adopted her, she was part of a feral cat colony, and so she's named after like all the siblings were named after different peppers. So there is jalapeno, Anaheim, um, habanero, jalapeno, like all of them, right? And so Ghost is the spiciest.
And she's adorable.
She's
Absolutely
adorable.
adorable and fluffy.
But I was trying to figure out a name for her, and I was going through all of them. I was like, okay, Bridget. I was like, Freya. Going through all this stuff, but then I was like, wait, no, I have a Rhea. So I feel like if I did Freya, that would be way too confusing. And so I was going through all of them, and then I said Caredwin, and she kind of popped her head and looked at me, and I was like, okay. And Caredwin is the goddess of protection, hearth, and home. I believe she's a Welsh deity, but so that's how she got her name. And then Ragnar, he's actually like my familiar. And so like I don't know that he is specifically works with one specific deity, but whenever I do meditations or anything like that, he's always, I mean, they're all always next to me, but he's always been like, he's actually done tarot readings. And like I'm thinking of like maybe one of these episodes being like, we're going to do a fun one, and it's going to be tarot with Ragnar, because like
We should do it, definitely.
he gives either a really funny tarot reading or a tarot reading that's going to make you cry. Like, it's actually pretty funny. And then Rhea, I feel like she was a dual gift and blessing from both Hecate because she's a black dog, and then also from the goddess Rhea because I was going through fertility treatments when we got her, and I wasn't sure how that was going to be and how it was going to go. And so it was kind of like weird. And I said I wanted an all black German Shepherd. I was like, I want one. And we got her for free. And then we were trying to go through names. My best friend Christine has an all black dog, and she's a mutt, but her name is Freya, and so they look like they could be cousins. And I was like, well, I'm trying to figure out. And I was saying names, and I said Rhea, and she looked at me. But then whenever I'm working with Hecate, she'll come up to me, and it's really funny because if I'm not doing what I need to do, Rhea will come up to me and like kidney punch me. But then she'll love on me and she wants me to hold her. And she really reminds me to like stop and slow down. So it's kind of interesting how they all work together in a little bit. But yeah, when I work with Hecate a lot, Rhea is the one that sits right next to me. Actually, she's like laying underneath my recliner right now. I have the foot thing up and she's laying underneath it because she knows. And Dingus is right there. So
I
I'm not
don't.
surprised.
None of my pets usually do any of that kind of stuff except for Toli has been sitting on Hecate's altar a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and she has not been mad, but she hasn't been like disruptive or anything to it. She's
Mm-hmm.
just been sitting there chilling, and I occasionally find her asleep on there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like not, she hasn't destroyed anything, she's not touching anything or like laying on anything. She's just kind of vibing there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably like the only thing. But I do know that when I am writing stuff, and it depends on like what I am writing. Toli, she always does this anyways, but she'll sit right here, and she'll watch me write. And she only does it when I'm like doing the poetry stuff. So when I am like kind of reliving my trauma and putting it into words.
Well, you know, cats actually have like it's been shown that when they purr, or even just laying on you, like it's like their purring, it puts off a frequency that helps with like soothing people with anxiety and depression, and it's actually really
She's definitely an ESA.
yeah, because like um, Dingus will do it where he'll snuggle with me like at night. He does it every night, but recently he started doing this where because I'll wake up and he's like in my right armpit, but he started doing this recently where like he'll lay on my stomach, and I've been doing a lot of like sacral releasing. Hi, puppy, which
Her
was
name
this
is
one,
Foxy.
Foxy. But
She's like a little fox.
yeah, but there's like he's been laying with me, and he'll like, oh, well, that happened. You're gonna have to wait, Rhea. She wanted to play, and she grabbed it, and it bounced, and is now sitting on top of Ragnar's kennel, and the cats are guarding.
Oh, poor baby.
I know. Here we go. Let's see if we
Foxy,
can get
come.
Ragnar. Hey, baby. Look, you want to say hi?
Hi, baby. Oh, you're such a cutie. Oh, and I see Rhea.
There's all
Oh,
four of
it's
them.
so
There's Ghost.
cute. Now Foxy's getting riled up. She's like, I want to be called cute. You
Yeah,
are
look
very
at
cute,
them.
Foxy.
I
But
always
look,
laugh too because like my animals match. Like Rhea's all black, but she has like little patches of white here and there. You can't really see it unless like you're in her face. But like Ragnar and Ghost have the almost the same coloring, and so I always find that. No, you cannot get up here. You're not a lap dog. You're 95.
oh, sorry, totally. I'm sorry.
Um, aw, kitty cat.
Eat too far. This is
But yeah, so
totally.
hey Totally. That's pretty much all I really. Well, Hecate does a lot more with me though, and I do a lot more with Hecate, and I know she's probably gonna be lecturing me like, you say that, but have you done the work? So I can feel it. I can feel that
I
look like.
Most of my work is with Nyx and Loki because they just gang up on me with trauma. And trying to and trying to heal from it. I'm in my healing era, as a lot of TikTokers have been saying. Um, Hecate does help with it too. Um, you know that I work with Nemesis now. Um,
Yeah,
Nemesis is more for like the protection aspect, because of a lot of the stuff that has happened to me in my childhood and whatnot. I don't really want to say too much about it,
no, that's
but
fine.
because I think you already know a lot of the stuff
Yeah,
because I vent about it a lot. Um, but that's the reason why Nemesis has come in and to kind of help, not only like protect me but also help me along the side. I'm pretty sure she is Nyx brought her in and was like, yeah, you need to help me with this.
yeah. No, I've I've been doing a lot of like lately. It's been a lot of self reflection, and kind of doing like a show of gratitude, and that's why I've been like really quiet lately, and I've been so busy with work, and I'm grateful for that because it's work and it's keeping me busy and I love it.
You have
I've
a really
also
cool
just
job,
been
so
I I love my job. I just it's one of those things that I'm definitely working harder on, trying to, and that's something that Nyx and really all of them have been getting on me about, is like stopping and sitting and really kind of being in the moment and being present. And so I've been doing a lot of that, and Agate's really been helping me with it because it's kind of it's like you going back to the whole like speaking your truth and saying what's on your mind and what's in your heart, and so like she's been helping with that, and Nyx has been helping a little bit too, but it's mostly I can tell it's been Hecate. Cardoin comes in every now and then too, um, and so does the Morgan. In fact, I was driving and I've been seeing like there's a I love saying murder. There's a murder of crows that sit outside, and they're always in my apartment. I'm gonna befriend them. I say good morning to them every day when I see them, but yeah, so like I've been kind of trying to be more present and sitting and really resting and enjoying that rest. And so that's what I've been working on because I know that I'm at a crossroads of sorts, right? And that's Hekate's biggest thing is she's at the crossroads. So it could be the crossroads of life, the crossroads of life and death. Um, when you get to death, and like she's a carrier of souls, like she'll help with bringing souls so they don't get lost. But and that's been really helpful because March is a hard month for me with all the different death anniversaries that I have, and so I'll sit with her and I'll talk and kind of go through how I'm feeling and kind of working through it, and so that's kind of what I do with Hikate, and then also just when I'm doing candle magic or making candles and stuff like that, I'll sit there and I'll channel her and Freya because I'm like, all right, bring me the magic so these candles can do the things that they need to do. So, but it's like little things like that, and I always like Rhea, even though she's was blessed and brought to me by both of them. She's like, she's such an anxious dog, but it's just like I sit there. She just needs love. She just needs mama's love every now and then, and I feel like that kind of helps ground me in a way because then it's forcing me to not let all the crazy thoughts in my head get to me, and so it forces me to kind of sit there and say, okay, why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling? Shadow work, right? Why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling? Why is this triggering me? Why is this, you know,
I feel like the
I thought I,
the answer is always shadow work.
yeah, like, oh, I thought I healed from this. And then you're like, well, you're healing. And it's not, healing's not linear. And like, yeah, you may have healed from that, but things can still come back. It's still, like I used to not be able to talk about certain things that have happened in my life because it was like if I talked about it, it's like I would freeze and I'd be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I got to run away and like because I'm gonna start crying and no one can see me cry. Whereas now it's like it hurts and there's like it's like that phantom. It's like a no, I don't want to say numbness because I still feel, but it's like a it's kind of like that phantom feeling where it's like the pain
Mhm.
is was there and but it's no longer there if that makes sense. And there are
No,
still
I
some
know what
things
you
that
mean. I know what
yeah,
you
and
mean.
like there are still some things that really get to me and I have to sit there, but instead of bottling up or like running away, um, doing that work and working with them, I've been able to like effectively and communicate in a healthy way, hey, today's not a good day. I need to take a step back. And when people offer to help, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna take that help instead of, kind of pushing it away and saying, oh, I don't need help. I'm fine. I'll be okay. It's relying on the community if that makes sense. So it's being like, you know what, today I'm not okay. Can I just come over and sit with you? Or hey, today's kind of heavy. Um, can I just come sit or can someone come sit with me? And so it's kind of working on things like that. And I work on that with both of them. Um, and, but honestly, like when it comes to mental health, I actually have been working more with the Morrigan. And it sounds weird when I say that because that's usually what people they're like, well, I don't associate mental illness or mental health with her, but it's a battle of sorts. And so
Mhm.
between her and then Hecate, I've been working on a lot of like my mental health and trying to process all of that. So that's pretty much what I do with Hecate.
Mental health is what I work with Nyx on, and then a lot of the childhood trauma that I've been through is Loki mainly. And I'm I'm actually getting more memories of my childhood unlocked because I don't remember much of my childhood just because it was blocked by a lot of the trauma that I endured during it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's slowly coming back to me. And I also relate to you on it's not March, but it is September for me because that is when I've lost the two most important people in my life. So I do understand that aspect, and I do during that time also feel a large presence in the deities and like them holding me, and mainly Nyx.
Yeah.
And I actually felt her today when I was picking up the dresser from my friend's mom because she passed away back when I was a freshman in high school. And when her mom told me, because I wasn't actually going to get the dresser because I was playing Halo, and then all of a sudden I was like, I should check Facebook. And then I saw that and I was like, I need a dresser. And I clicked, hey, is this available? And I didn't even realize it was my friend's mom until after she had responded and I saw the picture. And I'm like, oh shit. And so I messaged my mom because originally I was just going to pick it up Friday, but I was like, no, I need to message my mom. And I was able to get it today. And when I showed up today, she was like, I am so glad that you're the one that came and picked this up and you're the one that responded to this because this was, and my friend's name was Destiny. Like, this was Destiny's. And I'm like, you're going to make me cry because she was my best friend. And that's also what I mentioned message you guys because like fate is on my side today.
It's really, we often talk about our loved ones and how they never truly leave us. They always send little signals here and there, and I feel like when you work, and that's why when a lot of people think, oh, you work with underworld deities, it must be bad. I'm like, no, it's because there's so much grief, and grief is just love that doesn't have a place to go. It's, to love is to grieve because you can love someone and or something, and nothing lasts forever. So it's like that love will turn into grief, but it's because our heart is still holding on so much love for them. And when working with a lot of the underworld deities, it's kind of like, Persephone, for instance. She's the goddess, she's the queen of the underworld, but she's the goddess of spring. She has that duality. And then, like with Hecate, there's that duality. With Nyx, there's that duality. I mean, there's so much that they kind of all interlace with one another. Um, oh, for some reason, it's trying to reconnect. Can you hear me?
Oh, it's saying that to me too.
Okay.
So I can hear you. I think
Okay.
we're good.
Okay. But yeah, so it's just, like sometimes I'll sit there and I'm like, okay, show me a sign that everything's going to be okay. And it'll be something like, my papa passed away 5 years ago, and one of his favorite songs will randomly come on the radio. Or like I'll overhear someone talk about like a fart joke, and it's so unserious. But like in those moments, I know it's him.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh so hard, but that's funny.
But that's how my papa is. So it's like, I could be having a really like serious moment where I feel full of grief, but then I'll just hear something so off the wall and so unserious, and I start laughing, and I'm like, "There's my papa," because he was a jokester and he was all about the jokes. And then, I'm often always talking about like my my children that I've lost, and then I'll get little things of like I'll get moments where I get to spend time with my nieces or my nephews or my godchildren. And it's like getting to express that love that I want. So,
Foxy, go to the door. Sorry, Erin's trying to let Foxy out to go potty, and she's like, no, I want to be over here. Foxy, go. Come on,
yeah. So
go.
there's little things, and I think that's why a lot of people don't think that.
Never mind. I'm sorry, love.
No. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fun, and it's fun, but it's also very intense sometimes working with them. But I feel like in the end, it's always nice.
It
Also,
can
I
be.
want
Sorry,
to share
continue.
this with you.
Oh my god. Yes. It's a raccoon. Coincidentally. Oh no, this is a koala. Where'd my raccoon go? Okay, it's not over here. I also have a raccoon. It's somewhere though.
My first one. I always like. I'm obsessed with raccoons.
I have a koala with
I
rainbow
love it.
ears. It is very loved on because I use this to sleep.
This stays in my recliner because I'm kind of old, and it helps me. No, kind of use it as support
I do too.
because I'm like, well, I gotta lean, but I can't lean because I'll be hurt in the morning.
I
But yeah,
feel
so
it in my bones.
I can feel it in my bones.
That's
um,
how I feel sometimes, man. Dude, working in the manufacturing industry, it fucks up your back.
right, yeah, working in archaeology messes up my back as well.
Ah, but you get
Everything
to see really cool things, man. You get to see real
I
cool
do,
things.
it is pretty cool. I get to go wander and trapeze through the forest.
You also get to go bone hunting
Oh, I don't. Well,
sometimes.
no, I don't do bone hunting.
Dang. Okay,
No,
never mind.
that's yeah. No, I don't do that. I just go. I get to go dig in the forest.
You
What I
still
do?
get to do pretty cool things. Like, I'm jealous,
Yeah,
man.
I do. I do have a lot of fun with my job. And then I've been working on some fire stuff lately, which is really funny because I'll be out there and all I can hear is Loki going, burn, 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 fire. And I'm like, no, we are not getting anywhere near that. You are to stay in this spot right here. Do
We
not
all
move.
know that if he was in the fire, go.
Right. That's why I was like, oh my gosh. But then there was one day he was like, watch this. And I'm like, no, don't do it. But then, like, there was a tree and it's called a candle tree. And what happens is, like, it's the tree itself, like, inside is burning and you can see it. And so they will get a they'll get a dozer and they'll come and they'll knock it over so it doesn't spread and cause like a wildfire. But like there was one day I got to see the dozer take I think two trees down, and I'm just hearing Loki go. He's like in the background going, "This is amazing," and I'm like, "I'm so glad we are nowhere near this right now." Like I could watch it safely from the truck, and I'm just sitting there going, "Like you are a little too excited about this."
I love Loki.
I
Dude,
know.
I don't know if you watched uh, I don't know if you watched the previous episode where we were talking about like setting up altars and like gifts and offerings and stuff, and we were talking about things that Loki likes. So, in my area, so I'm in like EA, so I have to deal with a lot of like gel and solder stuff. And one of the things that happens is that there's not solder towers, gel towers that form in the ovens. And do you want to know what Loki wanted? Some of
One
the
of those.
gel. Yep, he wanted two of those. I still haven't brought them home, but eventually I will and put them on his altar. But he's just like, cause my line lead brought them to me, and he's like, "You want to hold it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll hold it." And I held it, and Loki's like, "I want both of them." Like,
I want both. And you're like,
and so I was like, "Can I take these? Can I have these?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess. I don't care."
I don't know
It's like,
why,
okay.
but all right.
Oh yeah, he's like, I don't know why, but it's like it's something you would understand.
You're like, it's just you wouldn't understand. Yeah, no, I often find myself like cleaning and doing things, and I'm like, where the heck did this go? And I'm like, Loki, give it back. And you just hear like the little, and I'm like, give it back now. And then I just hear, but I don't want to. And I'm like,
I love Loki.
but it is really funny when he sends spiders and the cats go nuts. And sometimes it's rainbow
I
bugs too, because like he'll send those and the cats go nuts because they're like, I gotta get the bug. And then I just hear laughing and I'm like, please stop.
I haven't had any spiders in my house. Funny enough, I have not had a single one in my actual apartment, and I'm pretty sure it's because Aaron's afraid of them. But but they come up on my For You page all of the time,
Yeah.
and Loki's like, "You've got to show him. You've got to show him." And I'm like, "But he's afraid of them." He's like, "But you've got to show him because it's funny." And then I'll show it to Aaron, and he'll be like, "No, burn it with fire." And just look, Loki's just like,
More. No, I noticed that they've been coming up too because I used to see them all the time, but they're the little jumping spiders.
"Oh, they're so
So
those ones are so
pretty.
cute."
Yeah, it's the lady with the jumping spiders. I can't remember her name on TikTok, but like she'll pop up on there, and I'm always like, "All right, Loki, I hear you. I hear you. I'm gonna go have fun," because they're so the dialogues that she writes for them is so dramatic, and I'm like, "Oh God."
I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about. I
where it's
know who
like,
you're
"But I
talking
like the
about.
box," and they're like, "Okay, but," she's like, "Okay, but I need to." No, this is my box. Or like when it's eating the one little like mealworm, and it's like, this is crunchy. And it's like, oh no, it touched me. And I'm like, that is 100% Loki.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I
Yeah,
just came across one of her videos.
I love him so much.
I
Oh
do
yeah.
too, man. I do too.
Oh,
He definitely gets out your inner child. Let me tell you.
oh yeah. Luca the spider though. Have you seen his videos?
Did
I
you know
love
he has a
him.
TV show? He has like an
No.
actual show. I think it's either on Netflix or I think it's on either Netflix or Disney Plus. But he actually on Lucas the Spider has a full-on series, and I love it.
I'm gonna binge watch that tonight.
You definitely should. You definitely should. So I recommend it, 100%.
I really want to get like, I want to get a little terrarium and put spiders in it, and I can hear this. And do
See, I don't want to get spiders just because of Aaron, but I want to get a snake so bad because I love snakes. They're so gorgeous, but I can't touch them. I hate the texture of their skin. Like as soon as I just thinking about it makes me cringe. But I don't like the texture of their skin. But they're so cute. They have boopable snoots. I want
I
to
want.
just boop their snoot.
Have you seen a rainbow reticulated python?
No, I'm gonna
They're
look it up
all
now.
black. They're all black, but in the sun, they have like this iridescent coloring to them. They're so beautiful.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I want. Oh, they're so beautiful.
Hmm.
Oh, oh. I'm sorry. I just. Oh, look at this.
I know. I
Oh,
want one
that's
of
so
those
cute.
so bad.
I'm gonna cry. He's so beautiful.
Because like I started getting more. Can you chill, please? I started getting more like jewelry and stuff with like snakes on them and like rings, and I have this like really pretty gold necklace that has like a snake that's on it. And because I have always loved them, but the
They're so
symbology,
beautiful.
the symbology of them is also a big thing too, because they have like the shedding of the skin, the rebirth, the growth, and for certain cultures view them as bad, but for like us, they're actually really well for the, our beliefs and stuff like that. They're actually a
They're
symbol of
just
like
they're majestic.
they are. And so I don't know. I've just been really doing that more. But then when I think of snakes, I think of Hecate because like she is always seen with a snake around her, and she'll have like the snake, and then she has the two dogs, and I'm always like, okay, all right, I'm entering my baddie era. Okay.
Oh, 100%. You have entered the baddie era already. You are a queen. I'm sorry. Some of the TikToks you post, I'm just always tempted to say, "Yas, queen, slay."
I don't know. I look like a feral raccoon in half of my
And
stuff.
you pull it off, and you still look very attractive. I need you to know this.
Thanks. Thanks.
I look like a possum that doesn't have their shit together.
we're, we're we're street cats.
Hell yeah. We
Wait,
gotta,
so
we gotta.
if I'm the raccoon and you're the possum, does that mean Breeze the skunk?
I don't know. We'll have to ask her.
Okay. The forbidden street cats.
I think
Did I make a
we
petition?
should rename the podcast to the Street Cat Gang.
The forbidden street cats.
The
I'm
magical
choking on
street
my own
cats.
saliva. Bree's gonna watch this and she's gonna be like, why the fuck am I this?
I mean, when I tie my hair black and white, I'll take the skunk title, no problem. Foxy, calm down. I know.
Oh man. Now I'm
If we
curious.
come up with an intro, uh, you know how some TV shows have like music intros. If we come up with that, we need to have the skunk, raccoon, and the possum representing this. It'd be too perfect not to.
I know. Well, I feel like it'd be really funny that like we
And Loki just pops up in the background like, "Hi, y'all."
yeah, I mean you're like, hey, this is great. Oh man. Oh, that was funny. She's gonna get on here and see this and be like, this is
She's like, "What? What are you
conversation.
guys doing?"
So unserious talking about who's a raccoon and a possum.
She and I were discussing in the last couple podcasts when you haven't been there. We've been getting very off track, and she's like, "We need Autumn. She's the one that holds us together." Now we just all fall apart.
I was like, that is if I'm the one that holds us together, I don't think we're that's not talking very well.
No, I think all three of us keep us each other on track because as soon as it's down to two, we're not. There's no focus.
None. You know, we started off strong and now we're ending
We did.
we started off strong and now we're ending with
I'll give us credit for that one because when it's me and Bree, we don't start off strong. Well, I mean, we do, but then immediately, not even 2 seconds later, we get off track. This is what we're talking about today. On another note, no,
ADHD full effect.
it doesn't help when we have like 3 people with ADHD on one podcast.
No, because remember the last time we went well over an hour because we were talking about random things. So you were just
Yep.
like,
When all 3 of us are together, it's like, oh, it's been an hour? Yeah, it's been an hour.
I know. I'm looking at the thing.
It works.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going like, oh dang.
I mean, the podcast description is us talking about things and also chatting and hanging about and being ourselves. You know, we're just
You know,
we're holding up to the podcast to the standards. You know,
yeah.
it wouldn't be our podcast if we didn't do this.
Oh man.
Also, we all 3 of us work with Loki. Loki's gonna bring himself in here all the time.
All the time.
We already know this.
All
Every single time, without fail.
I know. He's just like, here I am, and you're like, all right. Like, go lay down somewhere, please.
Nah, he just comes in sometimes, be like, hey, how you doing? And there's just chaos everywhere.
Yeah. Although you and Bree are both working with Apollo now, aren't you?
No, I don't.
Hermes.
Yeah, Hermes.
Hermes. Why did he come up? But anyway, I don't know why I said Apollo.
I think someone is working with Apollo. Because I saw something about Apollo. I don't know where, but I saw something about Apollo. So I don't know who it was, but yes, I am now working with Hermes. And funny enough, it all happened while I was at work jamming to Feed the Machine. If you don't know, that's one of Loki's favorite songs.
Yeah.
And we were all just like jamming out. And I was saying that to my head and instantly knowing it was Loki. And then just a bunch of other chaotic nonsense happening. And I was like, all right, know the phase here now too. And we're all just vibing.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden there was another energy. It's like, I don't know who you are, but we're all vibing here. And I was scrolling through TikTok later that night and I saw something about Hermes and it was just like right in the face. Like, all right, I know who you are now.
Yeah, there's been another, I don't think it's a deity. I think it might be like an ancestor, but there's someone wanting to come in and I'm like, this house is full.
This house is full.
This house is full.
That's that's kind of how I feel because like now I'm gonna try and set up altars for each of the deities that I'm working with. But if I keep just getting more and more, 'cause I have a feeling that a couple of them will drop, but I don't know when.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Because
Well,
I'm
I feel
working with I'm working with Nyx, I'm working with Hecate, working with Loki. I I have a slight feeling that Hecate is going to, like, after like she and I are done, she's going to like temporarily leave
mhm.
because I mean she's helping me with some of my trauma, but that's not her main reason as to what she's working on me with. Um
Well, I
and
think that's the other thing too that a lot of people don't understand is you don't always have to work with these. Like one of my really good friends, she will have altars and she'll have stuff for them, and then when she's done working with them, she will gift those things to someone else or she releases them because with your practice, it's always going to change, and it's getting really dark. The sun's starting to set. Well,
oh,
sorry. I was trying to turn my lamp
no, you're fine. I was just
on.
making sure that nothing broke because that's an
Oh no, I
Alexa.
was using my water bottle because it's one of those lamps with the little thing and you have to push it on the floor and it's too far to
Ooh.
reach. So I just went turn it
Yeah,
on.
my lamp I have to stand up and twist, and I want to get one of those little Alexa lights,
Oh
so I
yeah.
can just say Alexa, lamp on, and hope to God it works because sometimes my Alexa doesn't like me.
Huh. But yeah,
Hi
no, I mean
folks.
like it's. I feel like it's pretty normal for your practice to always change, and because like I don't always I hold space for Hecate, if that makes sense. I hold space for them, but I also have those there for different deities that might be coming in and are attached to those things. But I hold space for them because I'm not always working with them. I'm not always working with Hecate. I'm not always working with Nyx. I like on a day to day, it could be. I mean, I'm always working with the Fae. They'll never let me not work with them.
I will
Um,
definitely probably be working with the Fae and Persephone here
yeah,
a lot soon when I get my garden up
yeah,
because that's why Persephone joined. I was
yeah,
like, I'm here. I'll help you keep your garden.
yeah.
Thank
I know.
you.
I'm like, she's like, it's time to bring the plants out. So I have like my pothos is doing really good, and I've got like my succulents out, but I might have to. I think they're
I am known to kill succulents, and that's just because I forget. So certain succulents they have a different watering thing, and
mm-hmm.
I forget them. I have to start taking notes with them.
So,
But my cactus though, my cactus, which is on Loki's altar, has survived,
well,
and
that's
it's
because it's a cactus.
yep, and it's also Loki.
Yeah, so that's not surprising. But yeah, like I just feel like, like going back to, you're gonna work with different deities and there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to work with one and only one and that's it, or like multiple ones and it's only those ones. Like some of them come in and they will work with you, and then when the work is done, they'll be like, all right, peace out. I just have some that there's like a revolving door, as I call.
That they leave and then they come back. And I was like, "Excuse you, I thought we worked on this," and then they come back and just do something else. It's like, hey, you need me again. Hi, how you doing?
How you
Miss
doing? Miss me? I've been here. Just didn't want you to know about it. And I'm like,
me? Aphrodite.
yeah, literally. Literally. I started doing a lot more with like my girl care, and it's so funny because she's just like, I think I remember mentioning you doing something like that before, and I'm like, go away.
Uh,
Not being serious when I say that. She knows I'm not, but like, yeah,
yeah,
I love
I'm
you.
pretty sure your DBs love you, man.
They do.
They know. I'm pretty sure if they knew that you were being serious, they'd been like, "Excuse you."
Who are
They
you
they
talking?
definitely would like slap you across the face, you know,
Yeah,
because I think all three of us poke a little bit of fun at all of our deities, and they understand that.
but to be fair, they also do it to us too. So,
Exactly, exactly.
but yeah.
Although there's like one deity that I think I'm gonna have for a very long time, and I think you know which one that is.
Oh yeah,
100%.
it's the one that will never leave. Like you're kind of
Uh-huh.
like maybe you could leave, but then they're like, nah,
No.
you're gonna
Exactly.
stay.
No, you're mine.
You're
You're
mine.
mine. And I have a feeling it's going to be Nyx because I have a feeling that she's actually been in my life a lot longer than I've noticed.
Hmm.
Because it was that one dream that I had where I actually like where she was actually talking to me that was like, oh, I need to get everything set up, and that was like my sign. But I have a feeling that she was actually there for a long time before that because of like she's the reason why I changed my name to Nyx because
Hmm.
it just resonated with me a lot more. But I've been going by that name for a long time and I've always felt the connection to her. Like she was the first goddess that I searched up when I was younger.
Yeah, when I was little, I used to see like shadows all the time, and I know in like some cultures and stuff, they're like, "Oh my god, shadow people bad." I'm like, "No, no, these weren't bad." Like I was never afraid of the dark. I wasn't really afraid of the shadows. I always knew that they were there to protect me, and so that was, I think, her way of being like, "I've always been here and looking after you." And like I had this one shadow. He's always protecting me. Like if I had nightmares, he would come in and some of the nightmares would go away. And
She
so,
is I love Nyx. She is an amazing mother
but that's
figure.
when I think it was Erebus, and but they're always
I love
together. Now that I
Erebus.
think about it, because it was a man in shadow form, and anytime I would like start having really bad dreams, he would come in and he would chase them away. And so, oh, I just made a realization that makes sense. Look at that.
Revelation time.
Look at that. All right. I do need to get going though because I need to
I also it's been an hour. I was
make.
about
Yeah.
to say it's been an hour, man. I think we should leave it at this
Yeah.
because we got what we were talking about done.
Yes.
Because we did talk about how we worked with Hecate and Nyx.
Yes.
Um, we got a little bit of sidetracked, but it was kind of the same topic. It was
It
kind
was
of the same
kind
topic because we were talking about
of
other deities now.
yeah.
I
So
do have a question for you though.
yes.
Um, how how was working with Themis? Are you still working with her? Have you figured out the thing?
Yes.
Okay, if you need to DM me,
I'm
because
going
it's personal,
to.
let me know. Okay,
I'm going to. It's
okay,
very
because
interesting.
I need to know. I have been curious about it for a while. I need to know. I'm
It's
also nosy, but
been very interesting. But yes, I will message you and Bree in the chat.
yes. Thank you.
So next week, do we know who? Do we have a the chart on who we're talking about next week?
So we do it bi-weekly, but if you
That's
want to do it
bi-weekly.
next
No,
week,
we could do
uh,
bi-weekly.
because I mean we do have to make up that one that we
Yeah.
missed. Um, but we could talk about Hades and Persephone next.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That would be good. It would mainly be you and Brie though, because you work with Hades and I just mainly work with Persephone.
I work with
Um,
them both, but
I was saying like we all work with Persephone,
oh
but
yeah,
you and Brie mainly work with you guys work with Hades. I don't.
yeah.
Although he's a cool cat. He's a cool
That's
cat.
that's mom and dad for me.
My mom and dad is Nyx and Erebus.
Mine is Hades and Persephone. That's
They
mom
hold
and
a
dad for
special
me.
place in my heart.
Alrighty, well let's. I guess we could do our makeup episode if Bree's good with it next Saturday if we wanted to, but we can talk more and release that. Um, but that's it for now.
Whoosh. That and if we don't make it up next week, that's fine because we can just do TikTok videos and own up for it. Because I still need to find the time to do the altar setup stuff. It's just work has been hectic, man.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably record some videos, see if I can get Ragnar to do some